Welcome back to the AI Daily Brief Headlines Edition, all the daily AI news you need in around 5 minutes. We've talked frequently on this show about just how much developers are using Claude. Some of them, it turns out, are using it so much that Anthropic has actually had to introduce some new limits. TLDR is that new weekly rate limits are being introduced at the end of next month for both the $20 a month Pro plan as well as the premium $100 and $200 a month Max plans. They wrote, Claude Code has seen unprecedented demand, especially as part of our Max plans. Some of the biggest Claude Code fans are running it continuously in the background 24/7. These uses are remarkable and we want to enable them, but a few outlying cases are very costly to support. For example, one user consumed tens of thousands in model usage on a $200 plan. McKay Wrigley of Takeoff AI, who has been running Claude Code 24/7 as a computer use experiment, responded, "Sorry about that." Now, Anthropic claimed that less than 5% of users would be impacted, and that those that absolutely have to run Claude Code all day can buy more usage at API rates. The policy change also comes a few weeks after Anthropic introduced rate limits without informing customers in a really clear way. Power users flocked to Claude Code's GitHub page to complain, and while most acknowledged that they were stretching the deal, churning through thousands of dollars of inference a day on the $200 a month plan, in general they wanted clear communication rather than a random rate limit message. Now, Anthropic's status page has showed 7 outages for Claude Code over the past week, so resource constraints are clearly becoming a problem again. More broadly, these rate limits call into question just what the right price for powerful agentic AI coding tools should actually be. Cursor and Replit have also made pricing and usage adjustments in recent months as coding agents became more capable. And the issue is, this is not some example of people abusing the system. It is increasingly what power usage looks like. These tools now allow you to fire off multiple agents at once and run tasks continuously in the background, which might be expensive but is what power user workflows are increasingly about. Now, the good news from a long-term perspective is that the cost of these models has come down precipitously, much faster, I think, than anyone anticipated. But at the moment, power users are going to face some new constraints. The response has been pretty varied. On the one hand, you have folks like Oscar Lee who writes, Anthropic are driving your most power users away, who are also your most avid brand ambassadors. They will go to another provider and that may very well trigger the downfall of Anthropic. On the other hand are people like Ian Nuttall who writes, even with these new weekly limits, there is nowhere else you can get this level of usage for $200. Walker Reynolds writes, in case you're wondering whether or not AI is changing the game, just a little insight into how much power users are leveraging agents for development. And indeed, that's the most interesting thing here to me. Fundamentally and already, our appetite for intelligence is becoming unlimited. Next up, we have a new player in the AI browser wars, and that is Microsoft. The company has introduced a big overhaul to their Edge browser, now including a feature called Copilot Mode, which brings the AI assistant to the web user experience. The feature is sort of halfway between Google's limited Gemini assistant in Chrome and Perplexity's fully agentic Comet browser. Copilot has some agentic capabilities, able to browse, for example, through different tabs to compare pricing or extract the information from a crowded recipe blog, for example. It doesn't, however, go all the way to being able to fill a shopping cart or book flights. Copilot is able to analyze multiple open tabs, and voice controls are also included in this iteration of the feature. Microsoft says they plan to bring fully agentic capabilities to the new browser update soon. Sean Lindersay, the VP of Product for Microsoft Edge, wrote, as AI begins to reshape nearly every facet of digital life, we're witnessing a turning point in how we interact with the web. Now it's worth asking, is your browser working for you as much as it should? He added, this is just the beginning of our journey in introducing new AI innovation into your everyday browsing. Copilot Mode is experimental and will evolve over time, and we're just getting started. Based on the way the team is framing it, at least initially, the ambition seems to be much more about simple improvements rather than radical overhauls. Microsoft's Mustafa Suleyman said, no more flipping between a million tabs. Copilot can cross-reference for you instead. CEO Satya Nadella wrote, my favorite feature is multi-tab RAG. You can use Copilot to analyze your open tabs, like I do here with papers our team has published in Nature journals over the last year. Still, it's very clear that this is just step one into this new agentic browser era, and that more is on the way. An update in the one AI wearable that has any sort of real traction, Meta's Ray-Bans are apparently still flying off the shelves as AI features come to the fore. Ray-Ban maker EssilorLuxottica reported earnings last night, disclosing that sales of Meta's smart glasses tripled in the first half of the year. Now, they didn't disclose the actual numbers, so we can probably assume that the tripling was from a fairly modest base. Still, the sales success was important enough that it was featured prominently in an earnings call. Luxottica and Meta have already expanded their partnership to include an Oakley-branded pair of smart glasses, with a Prada pair to be introduced soon. Meta has also purchased a 3% stake in the eyewear manufacturer, looking to cement a decade-long partnership. Now, Meta's smart glasses are at this point undeniably the most successful AI device play so far. They introduced the Ray-Bans in late 2023, well ahead of the company having any sort of functional AI interface. Now, of course, it is not 100% clear where smart glasses will fit in the overall AI wearable landscape, but for now, it's Meta and Meta alone playing in that space. Lastly today in the headlines, Tesla has signed a $16.5 billion deal with Samsung to produce their AI chips in the US. The chipmaker announced the deal on Monday, which will secure Tesla as an anchor customer for their upcoming plant in Texas. The agreement runs until 2033 and will see Samsung produce Tesla's next-generation AI 6 chip, which will power both vehicle self-driving and the Optimus robots. Elon Musk posted, Samsung's giant new Texas fab will be dedicated to making Tesla's next-generation AI 6 chip. The strategic importance of this is hard to overstate. Samsung currently makes AI 4. TSMC will make AI 5, which just finished design, initially in Taiwan and then Arizona. Samsung agreed to allow Tesla to assist in maximizing manufacturing efficiency. This is a critical point as I will walk the line personally to accelerate the pace of progress. And the fab is conveniently located not far from my house. He also added that the $16.5 billion contract value was, quote, just the bare minimum. Actual output is likely to be several times higher. Now, Tesla started producing their own chips in 2019, switching away from NVIDIA's Drive platform. The goal was to create a custom chipset that featured the redundancies required for full self-driving, not just advanced driver assist. For Samsung, this is a huge deal that could keep them in the AI race. The company's high bandwidth memory has been highly successful, becoming the standard for NVIDIA's leading AI chips. At the same time, their chip manufacturing has been dogged by quality control issues that drove customers to TSMC. Said one market commentator, their foundry business has been loss-making and struggling with underutilization, so this will help a lot. Tesla's business may also help them to attract other customers. Now, obviously, the undertones of this are all about the global competition for AI infrastructure, which is also, consequently, the focus of our main episode. So with that, let's wrap the headlines and move on over into the main.